giving him a little bit worse than he had in his previous PB there. He found the final piece after a restart inside the lion's mouth, but unfortunately the lion is on a cycle and he just refused to open his mouth there, so Hugo was left waiting. He knew what it was, but there was nothing he could do to get it any quicker than he did there.
Yeah, the issue with this lion is, from what I recall, it's not like a global cycle, but it's on a cycle of when it spawns the object in. So you like when you know it's in that when you know it's in the lion, it's pretty much already at the point of the phase where you still have to wait for the lion's mouth to open. So you're gonna have to lose time regardless, which is really unfortunate whenever you get that piece.
Indeed, and we're just seeing a Scoop here going straight up to the Chaos fight here. Hopefully we don't see any jumps from Chaos, and we get a nice quick fish, grabbing our frog friend back, and then finishing Big Story.
Yeah, Scoop still has potential for really good time here. His best possible time at the moment, as you guys can see on screen, is showing at a 1 hour 42 and 5. Obviously, his best run of the event currently is a 1 hour 43:12. So potential at the moment for up to a minute's worth of time save over his best event time, and there's currently banked 30 seconds of that. So it needs a really clean Gamma story now. Just keep it nice and clean, nice efficient movement on here, and then it'll be into Supersonic story to finish this one off. I'm really excited to see how this one ends. I think he's probably got this in the bag.
That was a very consistent Big Story. He got out of Amy's story to 29.9, and then he ended Big Story at minus 30.0. Very consistent. I thought that was the game at first. I was confused.
Yeah, that was actually a really good impression.
Thank you.
I have a request actually for you, Argig. For your closing segment, you've shown us the wonderful Froggy t-shirt that you have, and it's looking wonderful on your shelf there. I want to see you wearing it later when you close this event. I think it deserves to be up front and center.
I've got no problem wearing it, but the reason it's at the back there is because if I wear it, you won't see it, because you'll see my head and shoulders, not my t-shirt.
Ah, that's a fair point, actually.
Just buy 2 shirts. Smile.
Well, yeah, but it's like that's why it's up there. I would happily wear this t-shirt. I have worn it many, many times before.
It's a good
I
shirt.
love Froggy.
I like that shirt. I like having that.
But it's like it is up the back there on the shelf, because at least once cameras are turned on, you'll be able to see it. You know, I planned this.
You've been thinking in advance now.
It's scary, I know.
Huga unfortunately got one of the semi-rare pieces actually in Red Mountain, where it's like upon the top of one of the mountains that you pretty much always have to climb, and it's not a good piece because when you get that, you're pretty much always whenever you're getting a piece around that section, it's usually always at the bottom route, and when you find out it is at the top route, which is very rare, you pretty much always have to climb up and almost always lose 10 or 12 seconds, which is really unfortunate whenever that happens. Hopefully, hopefully Skydeck will at least make up for that when he gets there, and maybe some Lost World movement can also help.
That's what we're hoping for. I will be honest. I'm actually surprised we haven't seen many of the floating stone pieces in Skydeck here. So it's quite good for all our runners, because that is considered one of the worst pieces there. You don't want to see that one at all. However, I believe. Oh, there we go. I had a little bit of a player issue there. I thought I lost one of our runners, but we're still okay. Scoop's still going there, trying to do the jumps and finally making it over, which is very, very nice. Grabbing that frog and sending him back to the egg carrier once again.
Yeah, not getting the floating stone piece can sometimes be easier said than done, because I feel I tend to get it over 60% of the time, which is not a good percentage of what you want it to appear.
Oh no, definitely. Like if you don't want to see it at all, if you can help it, but as we've said many, many times, unfortunately, we do not control the RNG in this run. The RNG is decided the moment you enter the level, which is why we see Aiden. He always he's really surprised me actually when he got to Skydeck and managed to realize that he had a dig piece and just immediately quit out the level and was like, oh, wait a minute, like you had 2 pieces. Why did you
Interesting.
quit out there? It's like, that's insane. And then jumped back into it and managed to get all 3 pieces in 27 seconds again. He got really, he got favorable RNG the second time around, but definitely caught me off guard on that one. I've never really seen runners quit out of a stage to reseed the RNG rather than just opt for resetting the stage and trying to tilt the ship again.
Pretty big power move there, if I gotta say.
And
You
it
know,
might be
I certainly commend it.
it might be related to his Sonic Adventure 2 experience, because that is a viable strat that a lot of runners will do, and especially in Hero, well, in Dark Story too. And so that might just be something he borrowed from that game.
I can understand that.
Definitely.
Scoop's been having a bit of a tough time with Gamma thus far, having a pretty bad Emerald Coast by his standards, losing 13 seconds. Still up on his time, still going okay, but that was an unfortunate time loss for him, considering that he doesn't have much time elsewhere to gain. Potential for maybe up to 9 or so seconds here in Hot Shelter, but other than that, looking at his split times, there's pretty much nothing left across the run. He just needs to keep this very clean now. And also a quick update on Fuzzy too. He was having some trouble in Twinkle Park. I don't believe he got the roller coaster skips. Had to take one of the backup strats, and missing one of the spin dash jumps a couple of times as well. And in fact, yeah, he's just given up on the run. He's opted to reset, so he's going to be going again. That's a real shame for Fuzzy. He was doing really well up to that point. But yeah, Twinkle Park just not quite cooperating with him.
Pods, I'm gonna have to ask you to stop cursing our runners, please.
I'm so sorry.
Look, Shane's not here, so someone's got to take his place.
That throwing out that, eh? Oh. No, definitely unfortunate there in Speed Highway, trying to do the jumps over to the building and just missing the jumps there. It just so happened to be the same timing as Huds, and it's just like, I can't believe you've done this, Huds. Like, what? Why? What did he do to you?
Oh, Huds giveth and Huds taketh away. If Huds taketh away from Fuzzy, Huds has giveth to Scoob, because he not only got a really nice hot shelter, he golded it as well by over a second, which means he's now back up to 27 seconds ahead.
That's down into the 142 realm at the moment, and let's see if he can keep a hold of it. He's not got much of this game left here. He does have to go and do Windy Valley, then it is through the rest of the story flags for Gamma. But once that's been completed, he just has Supersonic Story to go.
But as we've seen in the past, and I think I've even seen Scoob himself make this mistake, is Perfect Chaos is no pushover. Perfect Chaos can be mean to you, and if you're not paying attention or you move the wrong way into a beam, it can really ruin your time.
Oh, definitely. You can lose many seconds, especially if you take that damage that slows you down and then miss the cycle as well. There's no worse feeling than losing time in the very last split of a run there. I will admit, being watching and commentating over some of these runs over the past 3 days has definitely made me want to go back and play it again tomorrow. I think I'm going to be trying to do a couple of runs myself here.
Oh, me too.
It's just like, I want to sit and play now, you know? Like, these runners are showing, like, they can do all this cool stuff. I want to do it too. As we see Huga getting the final vault piece there in Skydeck. Coming out there with a slightly faster time, so he's saving a couple of seconds from that one. And he's going to be heading into Amy's story very soon. But like, I did a lot of practice, a lot of runs during the qualifying period, just to try and garner interest for the run here, like, just because I enjoy the game as well. You know, it was a good excuse, but not doing it for 3 days, but constantly seeing it is just like, I want to do it. Come on.
Gotta love that feeling.
Okay, do you think, having seen so many of these runs and seen some of the strats they've used, you're going to try and incorporate some new things into your run when you get back to playing more stories?
Oh, most definitely. I've saw so many things that I didn't know were actually possible in this run. It's like, wait, you can do that? It's like, hold on. Why did nobody tell me this was a thing? Like, I definitely want to try it. The question is, when it comes to actually trying it, will I remember that I'm going to try these new strats, or am I immediately going to default back to typical muscle memory and just do it how I normally do, you know?
Yeah, overriding muscle memory I always find is one of the hardest things when you're trying to incorporate something new into your run. Like, you know that you want to try it a different way because you know there's potentially a faster way of doing it, but overriding kind of your default, that can be really difficult. And we spoke about this on day one, I believe, in the fact that, you know, when you try to play one of these games that you know so well, you try to play it normally, or potentially if you're actually speedrunning it glitchless, sometimes it can be really hard not to glitch in these games because of that muscle memory.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can't play this game glitchless. That's not happening. I will glitch
I've had
that.
many instances of that.
How can you not glitch in a game that is glitched at its core? Like this game can feel like sometimes.
I've done that so many times on my games. Like, even when I've intentionally been
Of that.
How can you not glitch in a game that is glitched at its core? Like this game can feel like sometimes.
I've done that so many times on my games. Like, even when I've intentionally been trying not to do it, like, I'm just going to play the game normally. Oh, the game just glitched on its own. Okay, my run's invalid now. Great.
This game is built off just a few sticks and scotch tape.
It's a miracle it holds up.
Yeah.
Speaking of glitches there, we just saw that on Fuzzy's screen. Fuzzy in Emerald Coast does the island hop over to the booster, and the booster just said, nah, I'm not boosting you anymore. Lands on the booster, thinks he's going to get launched over to the pier with the whale and the boosters, but instead he just gets dropped straight into the ocean. So doing a quick reset there. Not a massive time loss, because it says a couple of minutes just in Emerald Coast there, but it's definitely annoying when the game just decides, nah. And it's like, I'm not doing it.
Scoob getting a pretty good Beta Mark II here with the early shot, which is really nice. But he could save time here. I think his PV also has early shot, but I think he's still en route to save some time here.
Definitely. I mean, we're about to see Mir final shot coming down. As long as he's got that ring for safety, we're going to see Beta come and do the charge, going to fire off the missiles, and as the missiles fire, he charges up, and that is time on the Gamma story. So 28.3 overall as Scoob is coming down into Supersonic story here. We're going to see how he does. We're going to focus on him till the end of the run here. But just a quick little bit of housekeeping. This is ESA's Break the Record live event here, sponsored by Kaspersky and Twitch. If you've never seen this event before, this is where we have 7 of the top runners of the game who qualified during the qualifying period here. They set the top 7 times on the special Break the Record live leaderboard and are here competing on the big stage over the 3 days, trying to compete for a $3,000 prize pool. Right now we have Nixer in first place here with a 132.18. We've got Iden in second place, and he's got a 135.27. Huga currently in third place with a 136.28. Drag Viralis, she is in fourth place with a 137.40. Got Scooby Master here on fifth place with a 143.12. Fuzziness in sixth with a 143.48. And King Rhodes in seventh place here with a 155.32. All the runners here will, of course, be taking home some cash prize. You can see that on the leaderboards as well there. 4th through 7th will be getting $200, 3rd getting $400, 2nd $750, and 1st getting $1,250 there. As Tails tells Sonic there to wake up. Okay, that's fine.
Apparently he was just asleep, and I'm very curious how Knuckles, Tails, and Eggman just saw Sonic just sitting there, just passed out with his eyes open.
Yeah,
Very,
I love that line. Just like, I was in a snooze cruise,
Sort
I
of
guess.
just,
Really?
sort of just conked out there. Like, what do you mean by that? I need some context. What was he doing?
Yeah,
Was he
and then just at the end of it as well, it's like just Tails gets his line cut off. It's like, glad you're okay.
Good thing you're okay.
I was like, what? Okay. But Perfect Chaos, it is time. Thunder, Rain, and Lightning. He gold splitted into the entrance here. 24.6 seconds in total to save into Perfect Chaos. We're going to try and get some early hits here. Early hits is where we dodge the little swirl animation there and immediately hit Perfect Chaos. Each one saves around a second, so a potential 7 seconds of time save throughout all of the runs here. But we're going to see him finish this run. Go on, Scoop.
Yeah, So we can see Scoob here using the jumps on Supersonic, keeping that blue aura around him as he goes up into Perfect Chaos. Needs to keep the speed up so that he's got enough speed to get all the way up the top. We've seen previously from King Rhodes, he doesn't use the jumps, he prefers to have more control over Supersonic. You do lose a bit of that control as you're jumping, so it's understandable that he would want to do that. Can make it a bit tricky to keep the necessary speed though, and we did see on a couple of his attempts getting very close to not having the speed to actually get up before the hit. But no such problems for Scoob Master here. That's part 1 of Perfect Chaos done. The first 3 hits, still up on his time, just 4 more to go.
Yeah, fun factoid with Supersonic actually is he actually plays a similar factor as Amy and Big, where being in the air does actually get you more speed. It's very slight, but it is still a little bit faster than just being on ground. But some people do like to stay grounded due to the fact that it does give you better control. Ooh,
and that's probably why you want to stay grounded.
Yep.
Ooh.
He does still get
But he's gonna save it. Nice save.
Yeah, that was really close. Getting hit there, losing the speed, and only just having enough to get up the top. But he's still got the hit. He's not going to lose the cycle here. So a little bit of time lost, a couple of seconds, but nothing too major at this point. Come on, Scoob. The 142 is in sight.
It is here. We've got the final hit coming away from Scoob.
Great second hit.
Everybody's waiting in silence here for the final hit to come through.
It's like an intense game of golf right now for something this intense.
Nice.
And there it is.
GG's. Didn't even lose that much time. Nice job, Scoob.
Yeah, fantastic, Scoob. GG's, congratulations. That's a brilliant time to set and a brand new PB for you as well.
Indeed, and that's what we want to see. That's what it's all about. These runners competing against each other and themselves, trying to set these PBs. That 142.48 puts him a solid minute ahead of Fuzziness right now. So it'll be up to Fuzziness to try and respond. As we see the rest of our runners here, all of them at the moment are in Sonic Story, I believe, as we did see Huga having an unfortunate accident there with Amy's Story. Unfortunately, not getting the hot shelter that he was looking for, and has just opted to reset out again. But all our runners now are currently about to go through, and we'll just focus on Fuzzy at the moment. We'll see how far Fuzzy is going to get through. Currently 11.6 seconds ahead as he is about to enter Windy Valley.
I'm really pulling for Fuzzy. I feel like Fuzzy's had a few frustrations, you know, with some of the RNG, maybe a couple of hiccups in execution. But I know, you know, Fuzzy's run the game for quite a long time. I know Fuzzy runs a lot of variety of games, but I'm really hoping Fuzzy can pull off a really good run. I know Fuzzy's capable of it, just hasn't quite been able to put together that run. But I am hopeful that Fuzzy's going to be able to bring it all home and get at least one more PB. Maybe looking to surpass Scoob, but even so, a PB is a PB. I'm pretty sure all the runners are running against their actual personal best, so any improvement would be the best they've ever played, and that's always exciting to see.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Fuzziness, stealing from Sonic Adventure 2, going for Final Rush skip. I mean, Windy Valley skip.
That never gets old.
Technically, I mean, I know this skip was found after Final Rush skip, but this is the first game. So, who really had the skip the first time?
Sonic games notoriously tend to have what we will now refer to as Final Rush skip, where SA1 has one, SA2 has one, Heroes has one, Shadow has one, Colors has one, Forces has one, Unleashed has one. A lot of games just have a lot of like skips where you just always just fall for a million years, and what do you know, a stage. It's actually
all the 3B games, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, still a huge skill though. For anyone who's not aware, when they're actually doing those, there are invisible kill planes that they are having to avoid as they're doing that. It's not just a simple case of, you know, spin dash, jump off the level and just let it ride out. They are having to maneuver Sonic in a very particular way at very particular times to avoid the kill planes and actually make it down. So it looks very easy. It looks like they're not doing anything, but I promise you they most certainly are.
Yeah, it's very much easier said than done to be able to get certain skips, because you definitely need to avoid way too many, and you think you have the perfect angles for a lot of them, and then suddenly you hit a death plane and you don't even really know what part of it you messed up, where you're too close or too far from the death plane, which can be very frustrating sometimes. So you definitely need to do them a lot until you finally get it down. A lot of them, when you finally get the angle down, you can just hold the direction and you finally get to the end. It's really nice.
Yeah, I like Fuzzy's pace, having a pretty strong start to Sonic's story. We'll see how Ice Cap goes. I guess this will go for the early, the jump to get up to the platform early. No, actually, yep, okay, there it is, and ooh, just barely misses it. I've seen him miss it a couple of times. A good second try though, maybe a couple seconds, but overall, I think in a run like this, especially when you're getting near the end of the event, I think you just say, you know what, unfortunate, shaking his head there after missing the gate skip. But I think you just keep going, see how his clip out goes, and not too bad. So if you're Fuzzy, you take it. I think you just take it.
Yeah, so again, all our runners in Sonic Story at the moment, we've got Hugo about 4 minutes in on Windy Valley and just doing the skip now. We've got Fuzzy on Ice Cap doing the same thing. Iden, meanwhile, is about 21 minutes into his run. He's on the Sky Chase Act 2 at the moment, just on the auto-scroller, taking a breather and having a little bit of fun with it as well. And Dragvalis as well, she is too at the same point as Hugo is. They are pretty much neck and neck in terms of their times and where they are. She's also currently doing the Ice Cap skip. Oh, sorry, the Windy Valley one even. I got confused there between her and Fuzzy.
I mean, you can't keep it together which level you fall to the end.
They all look the same, they're just a big blank void. It's just falling and hoping that eventually the ground decides that it's going to exist.
They don't look too similar. Sometimes the skybox is a different color.
I mean, could you imagine if it was that way in real life, like you had a draw distance? So you go to a skyscraper one day, 80 floors up, and you realise that about 40 floors below you, nothing exists.
It's like driving in air. It's very similar to where you're driving in fog, honestly.
Yeah.
Where your render distance is just not set to high.
Real life render distance.
I'm just imagining the falling person. Oh no, I'm late for work. Let me just fall out of my house and then wait 30 seconds. All right, where's the building? Where's the building? Oh, there it is.
Yeah, it reminds me of Grand Theft Auto, I think it was, when buildings would just suddenly appear in front of you out of nowhere. So we're on the Chaos 4 fight here, and for anyone watching who's not aware of Chaos 4, Chaos 4 will do 3 moves underwater. He's going to move 3 times, then he's going to do an attack. There's 3 kinds of attack he can do. You want to see 2 of those 3 preferentially. Either a splash attack, what we've just had here with the red waves, those are the ones that lose the least amount of time. There's a third one he can do, which is affectionately called blue balls, where he turns into 4 blue balls and then will attack Sonic. That one can lose you up to 10 seconds. And the way these attacks are decided, there's a little bit of RNG involved, but it's also determined by your vertical height, but also how far you are away from him as well. So there is a little bit of manipulation going on here by Fuzzy. You can't just wait. He needs to manipulate Sonic, be in the right position to try and get the best possible outcome and not lose any time on this fight.
Yeah, and unfortunately, on the first hit of the fight there, he did actually get that blue balls attack. You saw it in his face there. He was not happy. He was shaking in the chair just when that attack happened. He knows he's not got much time left to try and get a run through. And this is what he needs to do. He's trying to get as much of that time save that he knows he has in as possible, but he's just not able to pull it out. So that's still a nice 3-second time save on his Chaos 4 RNG there, as he's named on his splits, but he knows he could have saved 8 seconds more because he got that unfortunate attack.
It feels really bad when you are running against a Chaos 4 that has blue balls in it. Then you have a good start, and they get to Chaos 4 and he blue balls again. You're just like, come on, man, work with me. Just give me my 8 seconds back.
If only it was that simple, honestly. Oh.
So while we're in our Sky Chase here, why don't we check in with Aiden? We haven't seen Aiden for a little while. Let's see how he is getting on. He's on the Chaos 6 fight instead in Sonic Story, a little bit ahead of the others. 20 seconds down on his PB time at the moment, but as we know, plenty of time for him to save later on in the run. Just needs to kind of get out of Sonic Story relatively unscathed.
Definitely. Historically, Aiden running through these runs here, he typically manages to hang around that plus 20, plus 30 second mark comparing against his PB. And then those later stories, so you've got Big and Gamma and Super Sonic, that's where he tends to pull back a lot of that time. So if he can minimize that time loss early, he can then save that time later on in the run here and hopefully set himself a new PB. But we're going to see how Flame Tunnel is going to be here. We love good old Flame Tunnel. Please be nice to Aiden.
Oh, just taking a little bit of damage there. Lose him a second or two, but nothing too major.
That wasn't actually that bad, honestly, despite the rate of getting hit.
I was ready to say, where's the snake? I couldn't see the snake there. That was...
Snake likes to appear.
Yeah, the snake was hiding. It was just like, snake? Snake? Oh, it's there. And then a quick restart, unfortunately. Just too fast on the mirror. Didn't manage to do the so I think that's probably not actually mentioned a lot there. You can actually stop Sonic's momentum completely. If you are in the air and then you press either the B or the X button while you're in the air there, you can just completely halt all horizontal movement that Sonic has, and he will just immediately start descending vertically where he is. Very important ability to try and utilize in these runs here, just to make sure you're going to land where you think you're going to land.
Yeah, you saw his face when he missed stopping Sonic at the right point. He was a little bit perplexed by that, thought that he had it correctly, clearly disagreeing with the game. But getting the waterfall skip first try, really nice. Overall, losing a bit of time because of that, but I think Aiden will probably be quite happy with that one.
That was also a really nice rock section, honestly. Like, with that camera, that is a really scary camera to have in the rock section, because that rock rubber band's worse than the SA2 truck, and that's impressive.
Oh, he's super consistent at that. Like, we've watched Aiden do that all the time, and every time he gets in there, same camera, straight spin dash, and somehow manages to avoid the rubber banding rock, and it's impressive. But we're coming into his final leg, so we're coming up towards the end of his Sonic story here, and then we're going to see which RNG he gets when he gets through into Knuckles. Knuckles.
So, okay, so some of our runners are opting to play the stories in different formats. Some of them will play Knuckles early, some of them Tails, Fuzzy being one who does it in a completely different order to the rest of them. What do you think would entice someone to play Knuckles first over someone like Tails?
RNG. Like, it's literally
Nothing
the
else
RNG for Knuckles. Like, hi there, I'm Knuckles Story. I will be your RNG today, and we're going to come through to all these different levels, and you're going to save 10 seconds in the first stage, but you're going to lose 40 seconds in the second stage. I think I'll make you lose a little bit more in the third stage, but we'll bring it all back in the fourth stage. And then you go back there a second time, try to get the same menu, and they go, nah, we changed it. No,
imagine getting like a... What? Go on.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, imagine getting like a 29 Sonic story, and then you start Knuckles, and then you get the officer piece at the far end of Speed Highway, you get the shower piece, or the attic piece in Casanopolis, you get the tall mountain piece in Red Mountain, and then you get like a bunch of dig pieces in Skydeck, all because you decided to do Knuckles last, and then you just have that happen to you.
I mean, I honestly wish that was how it was determined. Like, I wish there was a way to seed Knuckles' RNG in such a way where if you decided that you were doing him last, you would have set pieces and you could just immediately go and run them. Unfortunately, that is not the case. Each of the Emerald locations are decided the moment you enter the level, regardless of when you enter the level in the story. So a lot of these runners have decided that they will just try and get Knuckles out of the way quickly. So they spend around 30 to 35 minutes doing Sonic and then spend anywhere between 10 and 20 minutes doing Knuckles. If they end up on the higher half of that and end up on towards the 20 minutes, you'll generally see them try and reset because, quite frankly, it means they didn't get good pieces. And having that at the start of the run is better than trying to do a Tails' story in between there, because Tails' story is pretty much like 15 minutes of auto-scroller and then you get to come in here. So it's like, yeah, I'm just going to get this auto-scroller out of the way, and then suddenly you have to do all 4 auto-scrollers again because Knuckles said no. It's very, very unfortunate. We'll explain more of Knuckles' Emerald Pieces and how they work once we get into the story here and we can show you on screen just what is actually happening.
Quick update on Hugo. He's currently in Twinkle Park again, getting the track skip first try, which is really nice and clean. Also, good news, King Rhodes is back with us. He's currently doing some practice in Windy Valley at the moment, but it looks like he's going to be doing a bit of practice and then hopefully going for another run tonight. Maybe breaking that 1 hour 55 minute barrier.
No way! No way! I can't believe this!
Indeed, and we've got Aiden just coming up towards the end of his Sonic story run. We're about to go and hit into Knuckles. And looks like it's going to be around a 29...
53.
28.9 time difference between his PB and his current run that he's got here. Let's see if he can make that time up with Knuckles.
I think he can. I mean, at 12:01, and I was saying this yesterday on the cast. If you look at least what Nixer's world record was currently on the leaderboards on SR.com, he gets about an 11-minute, 30-second Knuckles. So if you get around that mark, I think you got to feel pretty good about how you did. I think world record's like a 10-minute, 20-second run or something like that. That's just
24, I think.
That's just because you grinded crazy good pieces, and so obviously in an all-story setting, you're grind. If you're getting to that point, you got to be really committed to the run.
Indeed. So here we are in Knuckles' Speed Highway. You can already see he's getting absolutely amazing pieces here. He's already had all 3 radar blips, so he should know where this third piece is immediately. In the box there as well. 1698 in the
really
total
good.
there. That is a phenomenal set of pieces here. Let's hope this continues. And whoa. He actually losing a second on that split because he had just as good a set of pieces in his PB. But this is what Knuckles is like. Every time you enter a stage, you have to find 3 of the Emerald pieces. There are 3 different pools. Piece 1, Piece 2, and Piece 3. They all have different locations where the Emeralds can be. You will never have a duplicate piece. So you'll never see 2 Piece 1s or 2 Piece 2s or anything like that. No radar bleeps immediately as he comes in here. But they're already pinging at him. So he knows 1 is in the vault room. 1 is above him, probably inside the clockwork room. And the final one should be in the enemy just beside it, exactly right there. So he knew exactly where all 3 pieces were. We managed to figure it out based on the radar pings as well, and he's going to get himself a very nice 23-second time there.
Quick update on Hugo Fuel. He actually golded Twinkle Park by half a second, but unfortunately on Speed Highway, losing Sonic speed on the loop section, falling off, having to restart, ended up 25 seconds down, has actually now abandoned that run as a result, is going to be starting another run. It's a real shame for him. He was doing really well up to that point.
Very unfortunate.
I really like how Aiden handled that Casinopolis because, you know, you see no pings and you're like, oh, yeah, you're not really sure. But, like, based on where the piece is pinged, obviously you guys as veteran runners knew this more than I did. Being able to compensate and, like, kind of figure out your route on the fly and executing that, I thought Aiden did a really good job of doing that.
And that's exactly right. That is part of the skill for Knuckles' story here. It is Shane Kills is the one who's been saying this a lot. It is a mixture of just game knowledge and experience. Like, you will build that experience of movement with Knuckles here the more you play him, as well as expanding your game knowledge, knowing which pieces could potentially be where, based on the information you're given, be that no information at all when none of the radar pings bleep, because none of them bleeped from where he was standing. That immediately eliminated like 3 different locations in Casinopolis there, so he could go with that information and say, right, if it's not at these 3 locations, I've got to go and check the others. Immediately headed to the vault room, surprise surprise, gets all 3 pings and can react to the information he now has. But we'll see if he can pull that off in Red Mountain as well. Again, Red Mountain has that infamous Rocket Mountain at the very start of the stage. Can potentially hold 3 pieces in total, 1 for each slot. So there's a dig piece, there's a piece hiding at the back of the mountain, and there's a piece that just sits openly visible at the top. The question is here, will Aiden jump for the rocket at the start, or will he see some radar pings and opt to go behind the stage? Let's find out. So immediately not getting any pings, but navigating over, finding the piece inside the enemy. So that is a piece 2. Looking for a piece behind the mountain, behind the back of the stage, which he found, which means the last piece, unfortunately, is up the top of the mountain. And that restart that he has, yeah, that restart that he has, unfortunately, not grand at all. He's going to have to just start climbing all his way up to the platform and get his way up the top. Yeah, it's not actually up the top of the mountain, though, is it? It should be at the front of the rocket there.
Yeah.
It's not even up the mountain. If he went just a slightly more forward at the start of the level there, he would have got the ping. But unfortunately, because he tried to dive down to the ladder section to check that first, he fell just out of range of it and couldn't see it.
Unfortunate.
The good news, did not lose, actually saved a little bit of time over his PB, which tells me probably had a lot more time saved there. Unfortunate, not able to take advantage of a lot of it, but hey, you know, when we see something like that, like my heart's saying, I thought this might be a reset. So the fact that Aiden can keep going, that's good news in and of itself.
Almost definitely. It just goes to show you just the kind of pieces that he's been having all day or over the event here, and he's just trying to continue to hold on. Like, this is what I was saying earlier, how he definitely seems to get these pieces with Knuckles. He definitely has the skill in Sonic's story here, but he always seems to hold within that plus 30 mark in the first couple of stories here.
Quick update on Fuzzy. Unfortunately, he has had to reset as well. Huga also resetting a few more times. Both of them struggling to get a good Sonic story going. King Rose continuing to practice. He's in Casinopolis doing some practice on the skip there at the moment. And Drag Alice, she's continuing on 13 minutes into her run at the moment on Sonic Story and getting a decent bit of time saved so far, just coming into Twinkle Park.
Indeed, indeed. We're seeing the lovely blue fish once again, known as Chaos Spore.
Everyone's favorite auto-scroller. Smile.
I mean, it is one of those things that, like, it technically is kind of an auto-scroller because it does a very similar thing every time if you do it right. The problem
the worst thing about it
mess it up, though.
The worst thing about it is it's an auto-scroller where you could still lose time.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what like, it's not it's not really an auto scroller because you can like you can lose time with the manipulation on the boss fight there.
Is that all you've got? Behold my flying.
But as we see, we've got Aiden heading towards Lost World. Let's see if his jungle movement is going to be as smooth as he's been doing. Going to grab that silver statue. Going to take it to the Mystic Ruins area here and stick it into the statue slot. Going to make sure that we hear the lock noise to confirm that it has actually locked in place. Please don't go too far. Okay, it did lock there. I heard that. That was worrying. He was moving very, very fast there, and I didn't hear the noise. Because if you don't hear that noise, The statue doesn't lock in place and will actually despawn when you are a certain distance away from it. Not getting lucky getting the speed shoes from the dig there. Instead, just one single ring jumping out. Like, why is there one ring? Why is there one ring there?
Oh, you know. I think it actually has to do with the frames of when you enter the jungle. I believe that's actually how the rings work in dig spots and levels and worlds. But I have not confirmed that claim, because it involves being in specific coordinates, or like little chunks, during those frames. Which is probably what makes items also spawn.
It's likely, and that's a very, very smooth Lost World there for Aiden.
Oh, yeah.
Good clip through the door almost immediately. Again, using the pause buffering strats that we have with Sonic Story. Just for some reason in Lost World, there are certain walls and doors just don't exist if you pause, you know? But it's nice. It's nice to see Aiden continue here. It's nice to see him managing to continue through. I hope he gets good luck when it comes to Amy's story as well. He does, however, still have one level to go. We've got the egg carrier. We've got Skydeck. We want to see good pieces there. And that's a gold split on the Death Warp.
No trains are currently in service.
Hey, you take those gold splits when you get them. Like, gold is gold.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you take those. Nice big glide all the way over here. So here's something as well, while we are actually getting to sketches. Any of you you Sonic lore nuts might be able to tell me. The Mystic Ruins, the jungle area here, that big ruin, that is the same ruin, like, where Tails and that pick up the rhythm badge, right?
It is on Angel Island, and I do know... Actually, no... There's no, like, confirmed lore where it is the same shrine, but nothing has stopped Knuckles' race to have multiple shrines.
So it could be a different one then.
It could easily be a different one, and the only reason I claim that is because of the fact that the Master Emerald shrine is also nowhere to be seen in the jungle, which is where
true,
I make such a theory.
Well, as we come into Skydeck here, Aiden unfortunately picking the wrong vault to go in there. Thought it was in the enemy, but instead it was actually in the area beside it, just floating. But it does immediately have a second ping in beside the enemies here, so jumps to get the top one. We need a good third piece, but it does run the risk of being floating stone. Immediately run it. It's not floating stone though. It's just hiding in the air there. Oh, that's not bad. That's a 29. It's a 29. It's still a good set of stages there. Oh yeah, anything without floating stone, we take those easily.
The last missing piece. All right.
Except from we left 3 in Lost Worlds, but we don't talk about those apparently. Again, I do love that. He's like, the last missing piece. So you're just not gonna talk about the ones you just left inside Lost World, huh?
Look, they spawned with him.
I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did. Anywho, that is coming on to the top of the hour here. So I believe we are going to say good night for the final time here to Huds.
Indeed. Thank you so much for having me. It's been absolutely thrilling to be on this caster's virtual couch with you all over the last 3 days. I've had an absolute, fantastic time. Lots and lots of fun. But yeah, good luck to all our runners for the rest of the evening. I hope we can see some more PBs before the event is out. And have fun to all of our casters as well. I'm sure I will see you all again very, very soon.
All right.
Take care, Huds.
Have a good one.
And taking place of Huds in our lovely little caster's room here, we do have Draco Dan coming back. Hi, Draco. How you doing, buddy?
Good afternoon. Boy, this is a good one now. We've got,
Is that all you've got?
I'm here. We've got Lemrez, we've got Seraphim. It's the Dream Team. And
The
we've got
gang's all
Argy.
here.
The Dream Team plus Argy. Here we go.
Wow.
Man, that's so much
All
shade.
right. No. I know how this is, right? That's it. I will do nothing but the little paperwork we have to do. I will let you 3 take over the show on this one. I'm going in a huff now.
Eggman, can it be?
Anyway, how is everyone doing?
We are all good. Thank you very much
Doing
for asking.
swell.
All right, so we are in Amy's story here. We're going to see if Aiden can get a very good Twinkle Bark here. We did witness him going for the castle skip in an earlier run and absolutely nailing it. It's just like, oh, it was so good. But we'll see if he's going to continue that again.
Yeah, I feel like the amount that I've watched over the last 3 days, I think I can probably count on one hand the number of times I've seen runners get first try castle skip. Maybe there's been more, but I haven't witnessed very many.
I'm actually rather envious of that because I know what you mean.
It's probably one of the hardest skips in the run, if not the hardest.
I would say
The
it's
ones
the
that
hardest.
runners, most of them at least, tend to go for, it definitely is. There are very few tougher skips that top, like, specifically for Sonic, that top Sonic runners tend to go for, but they don't feel they need to go for it in this because just for how risky they're.
Alpha, he's made it.
Wow.
He's got the final part. He's got the final part.
You can do it, Aiden!
He's done it.
What a gamer, dude!
There we
Aiden
go,
just
nice.
crushed it.
Why can't I do that?
Add another finger onto that hand there, Draco, because that's another one.
The question is, are we ever going to see runners go for that absolutely crazy variant where you can ride on top of Zero and just have him boost you up there?
I mean, I'd love to see that, you know, just
I have
Zero boost you.
I have actually tried grinding that before for 2 hours.
Oh my god.
Not very consistent.
I would assume so.
Just don't do it. I also tried the wall run strat. Not very consistent.
Has anyone done the Lost World skip in the the boulder section?
Oh yeah, I think what's the actual name for it anyway? I know Dage calls it LOL skip, but you know, I don't want to call it LOL skip.
I know Fuzzy's been practicing it, but he has never attempted it in any of the runs here. None of our runners have attempted that one because, again, it's one of those ridiculous ones because it basically ends the run if you fail it, you know?
It's definitely what I like to call the toughest, like, RTA viable skip in the game.
Indeed. And just taking a quick note on Huga's stream there. In the Chaos 4 fight, did unfortunately get a blue balls attack there. So we're going to be losing a little bit of time. You can see, well, we'll see how his time is reflected there. Looks like he's going to still be around the minus 9.9 that he is. Yeah, it's just losing a slight second there, but did have 17 seconds of time save in total to gain from that one, but just didn't quite get the RNG he was looking for. But going into Sky Chase.
Looks like Drag's on a really nice run right now. 42 seconds ahead in Skydive.
Oh, wow.
She is, definitely. And she's just about to come into the final section here. We'll see if she can land on the capsule immediately, getting the jump over and absolutely nailing it.
Nice.
Let's go, Drag.
Very
I feel
good.
like she's done a lot of attempts and has had a hard time getting out of Sonic Story, so I'm really encouraged to see that she might be getting one. I mean, I don't want to jinx anything, so I won't say it, but to have a good start is nice to see.
Oh, definitely. Like, you can see on her face there as well. Like, she's very, very happy about the result that she's getting. She's got a nice big smile on her face. Very happy, being 54 seconds ahead of her PB at the moment. And that's what we want to see, because that will close the gap down between her and Huga. And this is the time where she needs to try and do that. Like, remembering, she does have a lot on the line here. Getting into third place from fourth will double the prize pool. It'll double her winnings if she manages to take that third place spot. As we see Aiden there doing the past the puzzle skip. Nicely done, very, very smooth.
Yeah.
And we're going to see if he can go for puzzle skip number 2 off the spring. Gets into the position, big jump over and nailed it. And again, if you take a look at Aiden's splits here, this is exactly what we were talking about. Last time we saw him, he was currently sitting around like that plus 26 mark. He's saving this time. He's now in the green. He is 3.2 seconds ahead of his PB right now. This is where he needs to keep going and keep holding it. Get that time save that he knows he has.
I'm getting excited, but I'm you know, when it comes to Amy's story, anything can happen. And I worry about doors. There's a lot of scary stuff going on, but I believe, I definitely think that there's a really good chance for Ryan to get some good momentum with this run, but I'm hoping for good door RNG because there's not much time left to do runs, and those doors can be a brutal time loss.
And competency is a constant potential problem, yes, but I would expect that a lot of runners would be feeling a lot more optimistic about Amy's segment after getting out of Twinkle Park, and then especially after getting through Hot Shelter.
Oh, definitely. There's more to Amy's story after Hot Shelter besides just door RNG. You still need to get really nice hub movement, and if you get the wrong jump out of the jungle or you fall somewhere, that's pretty much just losing like 5 to 6, 7 seconds just right there. And sometimes it's the only time save you have left.
I gotta jump in and interrupt here for a second. A little bit of an incident on Fuzzy's screen there. He was attempting to go for track skip, but as he was aiming to hit the ring box just before track skip there, one of the key enemies managed to follow him all the way down and actually bumped him just before he went for track skip, stealing all his rings, which also stole his speed, which unfortunately meant he didn't even get to attempt it. But thankfully, it hasn't killed the run, as he does manage to get roller coaster skip and is running his way through. But we are in final egg on Aiden's screen here, so you know what that means, everybody. Time for your door predictions. Predict your doors. I'm still taking door number 5.
I'm keeping 2.
I'll go 3.
I'll stick with my guns. First try, right here. Let's go, Aiden.
Pick a door.
Your guess was.
First try, which door?
Oh, you're asking which door specifically?
Yeah.
Yes.
The first one that he goes into, which
That's
I think
cheating. Pick a number.
All right, the far left one.
1. Okay, there we go. Everybody tries to cheat the door guessing here. Come on.
Obviously,
that's not cheating. You're saying first try. Are you talking about which door it actually is, or like how many doors it'll take?
Which door actually
number?
is?
Oh, I thought you meant like, is he gonna get it first try or second try?
No. We
like to me,
we
that's
want him all to
second
get
try.
first. We all want first.
See, I just thought Argic was being really pessimistic.
Oh no!
See, imagine being that guy picking out. He's gonna get the 5th one. He's gonna lose time.
That makes a lot more sense. That makes a lot more sense. My bad.
Now you guys know why I always pick door number 3, because it's the same answer no matter which one you mean.
Wow, Seraphim. Wow. I didn't believe you thought of me that way. Like, what?
Wow.
No! I always mean door number 5, the door on the right. However, this time it was indeed door number 4. So if you said door number 4, congratulations. You won that one there.
You win
but yeah, you did. You win.
You win an all-expense paid trip to Goito Bayeto, the non-existent place I made up for picking the right door.
I don't know if it's even necessarily being that pessimistic, because if you're assuming that you're going to get the last door, it means you can only ever be pleasantly surprised when you save some time.
That's true.
I mean, definitely, but it's one of those things. I do not wish bad RNG on our runners here. Like, come on, I'm a runner myself. I wouldn't want to wish bad RNG on anyone.
No, I'm not saying that you're wishing it. I'm just saying maybe you're being realistic.
Oh no. Always.
Look, I feel like I'm already on
story. That makes sense.
You know, I'm already on strike 2 with Arc. Now I've had this RNG thing, and I said that he was from Iceland earlier, so I feel like I'm on very thin ice right now. No, that was not a pun.
Oh. Oh, if only, Seraphim. Nah, you're fine. But we are into the 0 fight here. Let's see if we're going to get the quick bonks on the head, allowing for the quick hits here. 0 heads towards Amy, gets tricked into the electric fence here. Managed to get 1 quick hit. Unfortunately, gets the bonk away, so we're going to have to push 0 back into the fence there. But Aiden is going to come out of this in the green. And you can see it there from a plus 26 second deficit to 11 seconds ahead. That is a 37-second time save in Amy's story alone.
Yeah,
we still
that
have
was an excellent Amy story.
It's
like,
amazing,
I wonder what the
Amy.
actual individual story time was, because that must be a really good run.
I could do the math. It's I can't do the math.
It's like, I could do math? No, can't do
Sometimes
math.
I can do math, sometimes I can't.
Brain do number good or no?
Guys, I'd
Brain-
like to take an opportunity because Drag just finished Sonic Story. Not only did she finish Sonic Story, she got a Sonic Story PB, I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
Yo.
yes.
A 31:18 according to the leaderboard. Her current time's a 31:32. So congratulations to Drag for not just a really strong all-story Sonic story, but an actual Sonic Story PB in this attempt.
Yeah,
Very good.
Good enough for what I believe to be 11th place. Or actually tied with Wanamaker for 11th place.
Nice.
That is phenomenal. And that's a really good thing about grinding out these all stories runs as well, is that when you get to that point where you're grinding out the stories, you can get these individual story PBs as well, and they are legit. You can upload them to the leaderboards as well because they use the same timing methods. So that's a really good PB. But even better is that she is coming out with a 1 minute and 2 second lead right now. And that means that she is going to have an amazing PB, an amazing chance at a PB here. She just needs to keep it together through Knuckles, Amy, into Tails right now. Tails should be fine for her. Not a lot to worry about in Tails too much here. Just take it nice and safe, play as she's normally played, and she should be fine.
We'll see if she can make it 2 for 2 on getting a nice triple with Egg Hornet. Aiden just got one, no problem. Let's see it. Oh, there you go.
Oh, he misses the out of bounds. He was having issues with this yesterday too, but he is going to get a second try. I think you take it. I mean, you're 34 seconds ahead.
Oh, yeah.
134 pace. Second try, out of bounds. Not the biggest end of the world. Like, it's going to be maybe, 2-3 seconds at the most.
I mean, it'll be a real shame if that caused him to miss the first place, though, you know? Gotta always be aiming to save those seconds. You really never know what can happen in a format like this.
That's
Oh, yeah.
true.
Definitely. Especially as the time is drawing closer. Again, just a quick update for everybody here. We are at 1 hour and 45 minutes remaining before we hit that no reset period. I believe that's when it is. Yeah, it is 1 hour and 45 minutes, and then no more resets can happen. So we're going to have to see how this is going to turn out for these runners here. And that may sound like a lot of time, but in all honesty, that's one full run, you know? Like, that's one full run, then, like, the start of a second. So, you gotta be careful. They gotta be careful.
So, what do you guys think? Do you think Aiden is going to attempt the task clip in Ice Cap, or what do we think?
I would like to hope he would be, just because I really want to see that skip be made, because I really like that skip.
We've seen it a couple of times just today, I think. In fact,
We have. It's been done by a number of runners here. We've saw it, I want to say, about 3 times.
that was a really fast clip out from Aiden.
Yeah, nice job. Nice goal split.
That's one of the
Jeepers.
fastest I've seen that clip out happen.
And that
I've
clip
been
is
impressed.
hard. Like, that clip is hard. You can't really do it, you know? But we'll see if he's going to go for task skip here. It looks like he is.
He's setting up the movement, I think.
Hey. Shut up, Sonic. No.
Doesn't look like it.
Hits the booster there. I believe hitting the booster means he wasn't going for it. But he can still do the big fly. Let's see if we can get the big fly. I love the big fly. The big fly's so good.
It is pretty good. But as Tails, it is extremely difficult.
It is indeed. But for those of you not aware, you're about to see Aiden come up to a ramp here. He's going to jump off these ramps. You see this really cool trick animation. What he's going to try and do on the 3rd ramp that's just about to come up here, he's going to jump onto the ramp at the left and then jump right at the end and...
Oh, nice.
Let's go, gamer.
That is
big fly.
extremely tough to get. I have not gotten that properly in maybe over 2 years now,
I
because
love
it is
that.
just really frustrating.
I love that.
It's
It's so good.
It's easy as Sonic because of his animation, but Tails' makes it really tough.
I believe
It's not
Drag
the
just got the. I think Drag just got the Tails task clip.
Oh, they did?
Oh,
Yeah.
she did. She's falling down, and that's it. And big fly too. Yeah,
Oh,
big fly too. Oh, what a run.
Wow.
What a level.
If she gets if she gets the final jump, that is that's pretty much what's considered a perfect ice cap.
Now, I've never, ever got that final one. I just, it's a similar idea to the big fly, but I can just never get it.
If you hit it too early, you immediately touch the ramp again, and you get no speed at all as if you just did a regular jump. But if you do it too late, you don't get enough speed, and you just touch the mountain.
Touching the mountain there, but landing on towards the booster
too early
area,
there.
so that's very good though. Like that,
Still, a 138. Very good.
It wasn't on the feed that we were watching, but you got a task skip, so you got what you were wishing for there.
Very good.
As we're seeing both these runners now come up to the Knuckles and Chaos 4 fight. I'm just going to take this time to do a little bit of housekeeping here for you. Just to let you all know, this is ESA's Break the Record live event. If you are not sure how this format works, basically, there was a qualifying period here with a special Break the Record live leaderboard where these 7 runners all posted up their times onto that leaderboard and qualified to come to the main stage here. This has been 3 days of grinding out these runs to try and, as the name suggests, break the record live. We've had Nixer run 3 world records over 3 days and also qualified with a world record as well. So that's 4 world records being broken throughout the entirety of this event. And of course, this event is sponsored by Kaspersky and Twitch. Kaspersky have generously provided $3,000 prize pool to these runners here. If we bring up the leaderboard just quickly, you can see our current standings and see the prize pool that these racers are taking home. First going with 1,250, second 750, third place getting 400, fourth, fifth, and sixth taking 200. And it was going to be 7th place was going to be taking home nothing, but thanks to your generous subscriptions to the channel, they unlocked a $200 prize pool for 7th place as well. So all our runners are going to be taking something home thanks to your generous subscriptions to the channel and Kaspersky's generous donation to the prize pool and sponsoring this event. And just looking at the leaderboard there as well, like we've got 2 really, actually it's more than 2 here. We've got really important stories going ahead here. Like, let me know what you folks here think about this as well. Right now, we have Drag chasing Huga for 3rd place, right? She's on really good pace into Skydeck right now. So if she can hold this, minute and try and increase it ever so slightly, she's got, let me see, what is it? It looks like it's a minute and 12-second deficit right now. If she can take a PB that is a minute 13 or more, she takes 3rd place.
That is an extremely good accomplishment.
It's an amazing accomplishment. It's totally possible as well. Looking at her splits,
yeah,
she does have enough time save throughout the rest of this run to manage that. So we're going to be keeping a close eye on her as well as she goes through. But we've also got Huga here, who's in 3rd place, chasing Aiden for 2nd place right now as well. Huga has currently got a 136.28 versus Aiden's 135.27. Both these runners still running, of course, but Huga has the chance to close that gap as well. And Aiden, of course, doing the run here, just trying to stay ahead, trying to hold into that 2nd place. And we also have down on the other side of the leaderboard here, we do have Fuzziness still trying to race, still trying to get a run out of Sonic Story here to try and catch and overtake Scoob as well, which could definitely be possible, especially since Scoob is AFK. He can climb up to that 5th place. What do you all think of this one, Draco, Seraphim, and Lem? What do you think of these stories that we've got going on right now?
This is very compelling. I mean, all right, so Nixer has a really solid chance of holding on to the 1st place. But the fact that you've got the middle 5 that all could be switched by the end of this, especially, I don't think there was a ton of movement yesterday. So the fact that we've got Aiden on a really good run, you've got Drag on a really good run. I mean, Huga's run is early, so you never know. I mean, you even look at Fuzzy. Fuzzy's got a little bit of momentum coming out of Windy Valley. I feel like that these last couple of hours are going to be absolutely incredible, and we are going to see some changes by the end of this.
Definitely.
been
Like
great.
I'm really hoping to see the end of Dragon's Run because I feel confident that she's gonna really much just jump out of nowhere with a huge PB out of this, and I'm really happy to see that.
Yeah, I do hope this goes on to be a big run for her. And one thing that I've definitely appreciated over the last 3 days is, let's wind back, go back to day one. As we're saying, Nixa pulled out a world record on the first day, which no one was really expecting. And I don't think he put much more game time in after getting that record on day one. I can't exactly remember, but you could have assumed at that point, maybe he's just done. Maybe he feels like his task is over and he can just let the others fight for the remaining places. But the fact that after doing that, he came back on each of the remaining days and set new records again, that is what I personally really do like to see in speedrunning. When you have a world record holder who is dominant, but they don't just sit on their laurels and they just keep improving the time. That I really do like.
He wants to get it lower. That's all he wants.
And just because maybe Nixer ends this event with the world record, doesn't mean he's unstoppable. I mean, you got runners grinding. I would be really intrigued to have seen if another really strong runner in the Sonic Adventure 1 community, DH4, had the opportunity to grind the category the same amount of time. Unfortunately, has some school commitments that inhibited him. But so you can see, like, there's a lot of high class runners. I mean, you even have these runners here. They're improving. You even see someone like King Rhodes improving incredibly quickly. I don't think Nixer's world record is unbeatable. You may not see it at the conclusion of this event, but I wouldn't be surprised if a few months down the road, especially if Nixer chooses to kind of be done grinding it because he's so far ahead, it's definitely not impossible for someone like Aiden or Drag or even Huga, some of these runners, to really creep up and maybe even overtake it one of these days.
It's very possible, yeah. Like, I've been involved in this game and in Sonic Adventure 2 for years now. And throughout those years, in both games, they've had long histories of having periods of time where there's been a runner who is maybe dominant and they're way ahead of everyone else, and people of the period think that this runner is, like, untouchable. No one's ever going to beat them. And clearly, every time people have thought that, it's not proven to be true. It's always possible for someone to get up to that same skill level and even surpass that skill level. It's just a matter of when it's going to happen.
It's been like there's been like 3 or 4 instances of that in just the past 2 years alone. Like, it just keeps happening where they come out of nowhere, they destroy the times. Like, they're like, well, this category's dead. No one's ever going to beat this. And like a month later passes, and some new runners come out of nowhere. It's like, hello, and they literally just bop it out, and just really nice to see the progression of that, like, over the years.
I'm actually curious, why do you guys think that is? Like, why do you think it seems like these new runners can come in and really, bring the sort of this caliber? Do you think it's something like they're just seeing the faster strats first that maybe older runners didn't even have access to back in maybe some of the time they played? Is it just that hunger? Like, maybe let's say you've been running the game for a few years, maybe you're feeling a little bit of burnout, whereas a newer runner may be willing to put in the hours to grind out certain strategies. Well, what do you think contributes to some of these newer runners that you could just come in and just seems to nail all this crazy stuff and push the times down?
It's certainly impressive to see how fast newer runners can pull off certain strats that even I, after all these years, can sometimes still barely get consistent with. Like Castle Skip, for example, a lot of runners have been getting that consistently first try, and I've put many hours into that skip and still struggling to get consistent with it. And it's really interesting just to have new runners look at skips and go, I want to try that. And sure enough, they get it very quickly, and it's really interesting to see the difference in skill level with how quickly runners can pick up new strats.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what it is that might make certain newer runners quote-unquote better at executing some more difficult strats, but I do think it'll be a contributing factor that for the older runners who get to see the theory crafting of strats like this found in a more maybe task-like environment, because there are a lot of strats that were originally discovered just in a tasking environment, and with that comes the assumption that it's not necessarily going to be RTA viable. I think it's possible that you could maybe work yourself into a mental spot where you just kind of write something like that off and don't really take it seriously as being an RTA viable strategy. Whereas further down the line, if you're a newer runner who sees a bunch of runs on the leaderboard that, you know, they already have that skip present through the process of really grinding for it, getting it like once in 100 times, whatever, you do come into the game with the subconscious expectation that that is the norm, so to speak, and that really could change how they approach it.
So, this must be
I also think when you run a game, I think your muscle memory gets to a point too where you have to take some time to really rewrite it. You know, when you're used to doing certain routes, certain skips for so long, it can be difficult to, like, not that you're not willing to learn stuff, but like you're it's almost as if your body is like, it feels unnatural for your body to do things in a different way, or to try a new route or do a new skip. Not that you're not willing to try or grind it out, but if you're so used to doing certain strats, you know, might take some time to adjust.
Yeah, one thing about this game is there's definitely a thing where it's hard to break out of old habits when trying to even save just little things of time saved. And that's just a really common thing for runners, where there's just new optimization with some things, and you can't get out of that old habit of trying to stop the old strats you're trying to do. And it just tends to be out of instinct at this point, and it's really tough to actually consistently start doing the newer ones. Get a bit redundant with that, but hopefully that point is pretty much made with that, where strats just tend to be really. It's such a weird mentality with sadx with that kind of thing.
Yeah, I know for sure that both across sadx and SA2, there have been instances where there have been strats that people thought, wow, you know, this is theoretically possible, but no way is this going to be, you know, practically viable and become commonplace. And over time, it kind of just does. And that includes strats that I've looked at as well. There have been instances where I've tried specific strategies back when they were first theory crafted, and I've thought, wow, this is stupid. Like, this is impressive, but no way am I gonna like try and do this regularly. And now it's just a regular part of the run. Like, the standards just change so much over time.
Definitely.
That wasn't too bad.
Well, Iden having a really huge goal on Speed Highway. Wow.
Jeez.
You know, sometimes you see some optimization and you're like, all right, cool, they're gonna save some time. When you see a 14-second improvement on a split, it's like, okay, all right. Especially with Iden's skill level, I was a little shocked to see that much time save. But hey, good on him. Obviously, maybe did some extra practice or just really was feeling it.
Get a load at. Get a load at. No.
Seems to also be having a pretty strong egg walker at this point too. Hopefully, there's no shenanigans.
There's always shenanigans in this fight. There can be good shenanigans and bad shenanigans, so it's not necessarily a bad thing, but there's always shenanigans going on.
That did a really good job, and is going to finish. Look at that time save on Tail's story.
I'm not sure if there was all of the like animation speed ups there, but all of the actual hits on the boss, that was really clean.
Oh yeah.
And
now we get to see Big the Cat.
Foggy?
Drag is also starting to begin her Knuckles segment, so let's hope that she can get some nice RNG out of that, because she's still 47 seconds ahead out of Tail's story.
Arg, what do you got for us?
That's exactly what I was going to say. Exactly what Lem just pulled out there. I was just going to say how Drag was moving down to her Knuckles story as well with that time save. So we got these two runners doing their diverging routes here. We know that Iden's already completed Knuckles, and we just got to see if Drag can get herself very similar or better RNG that Iden got in his run there.
Yeah, it didn't look like the greatest. didn't look like the greatest speed highway. Well executed, maybe not the greatest pieces. And I'm just noticing her segment is 11:42, which is pretty good in my opinion. So probably running against some good RNG. Hopefully, if there is any time loss, it will be minimal at best.
Froggy kind of doing his thing to Aiden, though. It happens. We love Froggy.
Sometimes Froggy just stops, and even if you're trying to reel him in, you can't. So it gets annoying, but you know, is what it is.
Like I don't run Big Story, and I hate that Froggy.
Wow, Drag just got a really nice Casinopolis.
Is that a 14? Wow.
Big time save. Looking at the other streams, looks like Fuzzy had a hard time in Twinkle Park again. King Rose just doing some grinding, seeing what he can pull off, and then same with Huga. Huga pretty early on in the attempt.
Yeah.
But looks like we got two runners. Two runners are pretty far in, and then the other three are trying to get some momentum before hitting that deadline for the no reset. I love when Big slides there across the upgrade. It's so funny to me.
It's really fun when I learned. I love when I learned that was a thing, and then I also learned simultaneously that if you try fishing in that pond, you could sometimes get rings. And I thought when I did the glitch that actually just had to do with him sliding, and then I learned, oh wait, that just has to do with him fishing. So there was two discoveries with that.
That's a pretty good ice cap. Probably was in good position. I'd be happy with that ice cap. I'm assuming he's gonna save some time. Actually, matches his split. Frame perfect.
Yeah, not too bad.
Not too bad.
Okay, whatever. Whatever. Get this guy out of here.
Oh, what do you mean, Drago? Don't you like Big the Cat? Why you gotta do that, buddy? We gotta go find our friend Froggy.
I'm scared.
Hey, I'm gonna put it out there. I think the best character in the Sonic franchise, hands down, is Big the Cat, and that's not unironic. That is the truth.
No matter what happens to him, he'll still somehow be silly and smile. Gotta give him that.
Oh, thanks, Seraphim. I like you too, buddy.
I got your back, Big.
His big back.
Big never left. Big's just been waiting with his buddy at the beach. Excuse me, I gotta go find him now.
Yo, when you got a chance, can you tell Argic to stop taking his break? We need him back here.
No worries, buddy. I'll get him in a moment.
Yo,
Let me
thanks,
get
Big.
my frog first.
See, isn't Big's a homie, chat? Don't you see this? Big the Cat's a homie. I think I misspoke. I meant to say that's ironic. It's not ironic. If it's unironic, it's. I think I misspoke there. But you know what? I'm tired. It's.
I think
Sunday.
you said not even being ironic. Is I think what you said.
I probably didn't say word. You know what? It's a Sunday afternoon for me. It's afternoon time. I'm tired. I worked this morning. I didn't sleep well last night. So forgive me if my grammar is less than ideal.
How do words good?
You tell me.
By doing.
But I don't know, Len, with the way that you type in chat sometimes, I worry if I took grammar lessons from you, what might happen.
Hey.
Oh,
What?
I know what you mean, but hey.
Hey, you know what? No. Let me explain. Nothing gives me a nice, wholesome smile than seeing a Lem mistype in chat, because
So
you
in other
know
words,
it's out of
nothing makes me smile more
pure.
than being type.
It's pure innocence, and it's just wholesome. All right.
All right. Nice save. I thought I was coming back to an insult there, but I know what it's like to be ridiculed for mistyping in chat. Usually it happens on Twitter, so Don't worry, Lem. I know exactly what that feels like.
I feel bullied.
I complimented you. You give me joy in my life.
You're laughing with me, not at me. I'm just happening not.
I'm not
doing
even laughing. I'm just happy. See, maybe I think I'm the one that's taking all the crap here. I'm the one that's looking like the bad guy.
How could you do this to me? So, anyways, back to the run. Aiden is beginning Chaos 6. Hopefully, he's not going to be Kangaroo Chaos.
Judging by drag splits, looks like her Red Mountain was pretty kind. I don't think there was much difference in the time change, so I don't know if there was a lot of time saved on Red Mountain. That's unfortunate, but as we've seen, Red Mountain can also lose you a bunch of time. And Aiden is going to MLG No Scope Froggy for a really nice time save.
Let's go.
Yeah, not a 360 no scope though. I'm not impressed.
Oh.
Yo.
Reset.
Drag went for the jump strat for the other stone statue.
Oh, the canopy jump.
Yeah.
Nice.
And she got it too.
I have not seen that in the event yet.
Neither have I.
So that saves how many seconds? I know it's like not trivial.
Like 6 seconds, 7 seconds, I think.
That's
actually don't know by heart. That is pretty good, yeah. I'm gonna need to start implementing that, honestly.
Well, I like this. This is on it. Like another thing, it can be understated here that Drag, she's on an absolutely phenomenal pace here. She is 55 seconds ahead of her PB at the moment. She's got one more stage to go of RNG here, and fingers crossed she gets really good PCs here. This is what we want to see, folks. This is what we are looking for on the final day of the event here. We need these runners to compete for basically for podium place at this point. This is what is on the line. Third place is on the line right now. And her competition, Huga, is in third place at the moment. Just reset again. Unfortunately, having another reset can't seem to get out of Sonic Story at the moment. We've got two runners here who can't get out of Sonic Story. We got two runners who are on absolutely phenomenal pace, with Aiden currently 55 seconds ahead and Drag being 56 seconds ahead going into Skydeck. Here we go.
Yeah, with both of our guys here trying to get a good run started, I'm not sure how close we are to the reset cutoff period, so if these guys, say, have like one really good run left in them, how long do they have to get that going?
They have an hour and 20 minutes, so they would need to finish this run, and if they started a run now, then even if it was the greatest run they've ever done, it would still be their last run. That is how close to the wire we are getting right now. You can get away with another 2 or 3 Sonic Story resets if you get towards the end of Sonic Story. But the longer you are going into these stories now, and the more resets you are pulling off, the less likely you are going to get it. And Drag is going for the underside clip here. Oh, why? Why did we have to see? And it's the first piece as well. This is going to eat into the time. Oh, you hate to see it. Right, come on. No, the camera!
But it does end up grabbing it. So that is something, but losing a lot of time. And this is what was scary to me. Is Skydeck is still a thing. And,
she's got floating stone. She's got floating stone.
Oh, can the RNG actually be any worse than this? Seriously?
No.
A dig piece and floating stone is like a nightmare for Knuckles runners.
Oh, why? Knuckles!
This game is...
Knuckles Story giveth, Skydecketh taketh.
Still ahead, but 40 seconds. That's tough.
Yeah, it's a 40-second time loss in that run there. Still in the green, which is absolutely amazing, but just that Knuckles. Like, are you kidding me?
It has to be the last Knuckles stage as well. Like, I'm sure everyone dreads getting up to Sky Deck, but you're just thinking, come on, just this one time, please don't give me really bad RNG and just let me get out the story in one piece. And then, alright, well, we tried.
That's exactly all you can do there. It's just a we tried moment. We came in, the game said no.
You had to say please.
And Fuzzy, they are going to be doing another reset on Sonic Story there. Tried to do the Windy Valley skip. Yeah, or sorry, the final Valley skip. But not quite getting it. Or is it the Windy Rush? I don't know. I don't know how you would call it. But either way, trying to get that final Rush skip in Windy Valley, but not quite managing it. Going for another quick reset there. Meanwhile, Aiden.
Yeah, making short work of Hot Shelter, getting that wall run and ceiling clip first try. Taking the left-hand path to clip back in and avoiding the soft lock zone. I hate that zone.
Blowing up.
Yeah, he's taking a breath. I think he's drinking water. That's smart. Stay hydrated. Maybe his hands a little sweaty. Looked like he was trying to wipe his hands a little bit dry. I would be nervous too. He's on a really good pace, but he looks focused. That's really good sign. Drinking water. Aiden will look to have a really strong end of this run. 55 seconds ahead of PB, going and having to just, I think it's just Gamma and then Supersonic. So not a lot left to do, but Gamma Story, it's like, okay, cool. Gamma Story exists. Like, boom. Like, it's not that bad, but you never know. You gotta hope you get your clips. You gotta hope that it goes well. Aiden gained a great clip on Red Mountain and just needs to keep up the pace.
I mean, hot take. Gamma Story is one of the best single story speedruns in this whole All Stories run.
Yes,
oh,
that's,
sure.
That's not a hot take at all.
That's a correct
true.
take.
That's just true. So again, looking up the splits that Aiden has at the moment, looking at any potential time save that he could have here. Doesn't have a whole lot sitting. He has about 3 seconds in Windy Valley overall there. Looking at the rest of Gamma's story here, he does have the chance for early hit. Like, early hit is where the bulk of the time save in his Gamma story is. So if he can get early hit when he gets to beta, then there's a potential in there for at least 13 seconds extra to be added to that.
This is kind of just it, though, with how much of a, not even a gamble, but just a hit and hope that getting the quick hit at the start of beta can be. It's not only, you know, being able to save that time, but then once you have it in your PB, you've got to be hitting that, otherwise it's correspondingly an instant time loss.
Drag going to be finishing up Finkel Park. Opted to not go for Castle Skip.
Probably the
safe option. Especially if you're not feeling comfortable with it and, you know, you have a hard time loss out of Knuckles. I think it makes sense to not go for it. Hopefully we'll just clean up some extra time save and just try to get a PB. You know, again, Drag got her actual Sonic Story PB in this run. So an incredible start to the run, and really a really strong Tails as well, and Amy has been fine. Honestly, Knuckles wasn't going that bad either, just that one split Skydeck was just really brutal.
Yep, and now the best part of any run, Hedgehog Hammer, here we go.
I would debate losing Hedgehog Hammer is probably one of the worst things of this run if you ever actually have that happen.
I think it's happened to me at least once doing Amy's story, yeah, that I just didn't get enough points, and I'm like, alright, I guess that's something that can happen.
I literally missed it the first run I ever got where I got Castle Skip, and it was the most, like, heartbreaking thing ever. Finally getting out of Twinkle Park after 2.5 hours, and then you lose to Hedgehog Hammer.
So mentioning that 3 seconds that Aiden had to save in Windy Valley there, he saved it. He actually saved 4 and got a gold split as well. So he's increasing that time. He's increasing that time save that he has right now. He is going through the rest of the level, activating the story flags here. Gonna see if we can grab that early hit from him. That's what we want to see. We want that early hit. He wants that early hit.
E103 Delta.
Look at that gold.
It's 0.2 seconds, but it counts.
A gold's a gold,
Absolutely.
especially at this point in the competition here.
Train headed for Station Square will be departing soon.
Thank you for telling us about the train to Station Square. We're not using it.
E-Series data. Beginners.
Always get really worried of the camera shift moving down to the raft there. Like whenever
Oh,
I
yeah.
do this, I'd always be really worried about just flat out missing the raft.
I mean, if you don't do a quick hover as you land on it, you would just clip right through it and fall.
Yeah.
Here we go, folks.
Early shot.
Oh, he got it. He got the shot.
He's so happy right now.
I love his smirk he had when he got it just now.
This
He
is what we
needs-
call a run.
He needs to manipulate the missiles here. He still needs to get a good fight. I don't know about you, Law, but I'm sitting boogieing right now because this tune is a banger.
Yeah, if you get
Oh, yeah.
really trigger happy with shooting down the missiles in the last phase, I believe it is possible to shoot at the wrong time and basically have Beta swat your shot away rather than actually damage him.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go.
I should. Yeah, right. And
There we go.
all right. Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
There's that time save. There's that 1:15. But it's time.
Very
It's
good run
super-
right now.
It's Super Sonic's story. He's been here before. He's been here twice before with significant time save on the clock farm. This is the highest he's had, but we have seen runs where he's just had problems with Perfect Chaos, where Perfect Chaos in phase 2 decides to be a butt and has perfect, basically goes from Stormtrooper aim to perfect aim and always seems to hit Aiden. Give him your energy. We do not want to see that. We want him to finish. We want that 1:15 split on the Supersonic story, or even more. We want the 1:20.
Yeah, this is a
He
low
is
134 pace.
Close. He could even get a 133. I think it's possible. And if he does, that would be crazy. I did make a prediction at one point saying I would
did?
get a 133. Let's see if that comes to fruition.
Well, having a look at the split data that we have available
That seems good.
for him at the moment, he does have 7 seconds of time save on this split. Could potentially put him up to a 1 minute and 22 second time save overall. Take that away from his time there. The best, well, the predicted time is a 1:34.12. Will he get to that 1:34.12? We are about
Very
to
clean
find
movement there
out.
in that one.
So where do you think we're looking at those potential 7 seconds of time save? Like, there's only 2 spots it can really potentially come from when you think about it. It's either hub movement or number of quick hits, right?
Oh, it's hub movement.
Yep.
It's the first split. It's complete hub movement as well. He might get it on the quick hits here, but I definitely believe that 7 seconds is pure hub movement for Aiden. Thunder, rain, and lightning. Give him your energy, folks. Here we go into the Perfect Chaos fight. 3 hits on phase 1 here. Stormtrooper aim has been activated. Chaos really not going to hit you too much here. It's phase 2 where he speeds it up. Doubles the attack rate. Becomes highly accurate. You got to thread that needle.
Good second hit.
It's 0 for 2 for quick hits, but see how this goes.
Very clean movement.
All right, good. Third.
Saves a majority of that time.
Oh, yes.
Well, there's 6 seconds right there.
Yeah.
So he got 6 of the 7. He got 6 of the 7 that the split said he can save. It's time. Perfect Chaos. Final fight. Final 3 hits.
I'd like to make the belief that he could actually gold the split if he tries.
I believe as well. I want to believe. I want to see him succeed on this one. We
Yeah,
all
quick
want to
hits
see
or
him
not,
succeed.
This is definitely more about just having a clean run through where none of his attacks are interrupted.
Yeah,
As long as he
that's
doesn't
probably what
do any
happened in the
extra
first phase.
cycles, then this is fine.
He got 1 hit.
Let's go, gamers.
He is going to get hit, but he is actually going to recover. Oh, no, but the beam is going to do it. I think it probably kills a
He's
133, but he is going to get the
He's
second
fine.
hit.
He's fine.
Yeah.
He's fine.
He's doing fine. He does get the hit. It would be disaster if he misses it. So
Yeah,
a good
that's
recovery.
important.
That was a really awkward camera, though, so it's understandable how he got hit.
Plus, the beams just really tracked on him really hard there. And
Yeah.
he's going to have a great third hit. And a
And-
134.09. GG's, Aiden. Let's
Very
go.
nice.
Absolutely phenomenal time. They're finally pulling out that PB that he's known that he could get throughout the entire day here of day 3, especially this latter half, getting a phenomenal 1 minute and 18 second time save throughout that entire run there, putting his time down to that 134.09. That's a massive gap now. That is over a 2-minute gap between second and third place here. Huga is going to have to pull out all the stops if he's going to catch Aiden before the no reset runs start. We are coming up to 5 to 11 here in the UK. There is 1 hour and 5 minutes remaining before that no reset bell is rung and the final runs of the night will begin. It's getting tight, folks. It's getting very, very close. Look at the looking at the face on Aiden there. He's very happy about that.
I love his spark.
You know what this means, right? Like, if Aiden just decided to go complete God mode right now, you know, he's got enough time to do at least one more full run. If he just happened to have the absolute run of his life, there is an outside chance he could still win this whole thing. Just think about it for a minute. Like, we're kind of assuming that Nyx has run away with it, but if he can replicate that and just, you know, top it one more time, then you never know.
He lost about 30 seconds in Sonic's story, I believe. So he's definitely got time save there. I'm sure Knuckles can always be more time save. And you just never know. Definitely an incredibly strong Amy run. But you never know. Maybe some extra time saving Big the Cat. But a really, really strong run overall.
Oh, definitely. I mean, this is... It's been a long time coming here, and we're all very happy to see that come out. That is absolutely amazing. And just to... Like, to see what you were saying there, Draco, like, you are completely right there. He does have the ability to try and go and have the ultimate God mode run here to challenge Nixer for that top spot. He even had just a little bit more leeway as well. He could go in right now and do a Sonic story run and get another, like, say he comes out plus 26, like he has on his splits there right now. He comes out as plus 26. He could still reset at that point and try again. It's still 1 hour and 5 minutes. There's a number of attempts that he